If you're tuning in right now, I'm guessing you, like pretty much everyone else, are wrestling with distraction. You start today strong, right? Best intentions.
Yeah.
But then maybe you get sucked down some notification rabbit hole. Or spend way too long finding that perfect background track.
Or the classic, opening the inbox first thing.
No, definitely. And suddenly, bam, your whole morning is dictated by 50 other people's priorities.
It's a tough environment. It really is. The whole digital world we live in, it's not just there. It's actively designed, optimized even, to grab your attention. Clicks, pings, infinite scrolls.
Yeah, it's harvesting our focus.
Exactly. So focus, it isn't just a given anymore. You actually have to guard it, develop it.
Right. We're constantly swimming upstream, feels like. But here's the good news, and this really jumped out from all the research we looked at for this deep dive. Focus isn't some magic gift you're born with. It's a skill, like learning piano or a new language.
Absolutely. It's trainable. You can measure it. You can get better at it.
And what I love about the sources is the focus on, well, simplicity.
Yes. No super complicated systems that you need a PhD to figure out, the kind that people just give up on after a week.
Exactly. Instead, it boils down to these, 10 really simple practical keys. The idea is to shift you from just reacting all the time.
To being intentional, proactive, taking control.
That's the mission today. We've sifted through this huge pile of material, pulled out the 10 best tips, clear, doable steps to give you a map for getting consistent, getting productive.
And we're not just listing them. We want to dig into the why, the psychology, the biology behind each one, so you really understand how it works.
Okay, let's unpack it. We've grouped these 10 keys into 3 parts. Makes sense, right? Start with planning, then fuel the system, and finally train the actual attention muscle.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
All right, part 1 is all about structure, setting things up right. We're going to start with tip number 1. It's the cornerstone, really. Then we're actually going to jump ahead in the numbering just a bit because it flows better. Plan first, then tackle the biggest roadblock, then look at how to execute.
Right. So tip 1 gives you direction. Tip 7 deals with the big thing that messes up the plan, multitasking. And then tip 3 gives you the actual technique for doing the work efficiently.
Perfect. So let's start with taking charge right at the beginning of the day.
Okay, tip 1. The sources are really clear on this. The most crucial thing you do all day. It needs to happen before the world intrudes.
Before the emails, before the Slack messages.
Exactly. Just take a few minutes. Sit down and make a plan. An aggressive plan maybe, but a realistic one.
And the key is narrowing it down, right? Not that massive to-do list that just paralyzes you.
Precisely. The core action is asking yourself every single morning, what are the absolute 3 most important things, realistic things I need to get done today? The top 3.
Okay, top 3, but why just 3? I mean, my list is usually 20 items long. It feels wrong to ignore the other 17.
Yeah, I get that. But think about cognitive load, decision energy.
Yeah.
Every little choice you make drains a tiny bit of mental fuel. Stare at a list of 20 things and your brain instantly starts churning. Okay, do I do A or B? Is C more urgent than D? You're already spending energy just prioritizing. It's called decision fatigue.
So you're burning your best focus fuel just deciding what to focus on instead of actually doing it.
Exactly. By nailing down those top 3 first thing, you cut out all that initial friction. You're basically, as the sources put it, giving your brain a map before the drive starts. Yeah, it gives immediate clarity, immediate priority. It stops you wasting energy on less important stuff and lets your brain save its power for the really tough thinking later. Clear target.
I can see that. What about that nagging feeling? The anxiety that if I only list 3 things, the other stuff will just pile up.
That's where realism comes in. Choose 3 things that are critical and that you can actually finish. If you nail those 3, the sources argue you've had a successful day, period.
Regardless of the other noise.
Right. And that feeling of completion, of actually finishing something important, is way more motivating psychologically than making a tiny bits of progress on 20 different things. It puts you in charge right away. Proactive, not reactive.
Okay, so we've got our map, the top 3 from tip 1. Now let's jump to tip 7. This tackles the huge structural problem that stops us following the map: multitasking.
Ah, yes. The siren song of multitasking.
It sounds so productive, doesn't it? Like the ultimate modern skill. But the sources we read, they basically call it a trap, a productivity killer.
It's probably one of the hardest habits to kick, especially now. There's so much pressure to seem busy, to be available constantly.
Right, busyness equals success, or so we think.
We've sort of trained ourselves to believe we can check email while we're on a call and maybe draft a paragraph of that report at the same time. The research frames this as, well, pretty destructive, cognitively speaking.
And they actually put numbers on it, which I found fascinating. It's not just vague, oh, it's inefficient. There's a real measurable cost.
Absolutely. This was a key finding across the board. Every time your brain switches between tasks, there's a time penalty. It's called the switch cost.
Okay.
And that cost, on average, is somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds. Every single switch.
Wow. Okay, 20 to 30 seconds doesn't sound like that much initially,
Yeah.
but if I'm flicking between my main project, my email, my team chat, say every 5 minutes.
Do the math. Over an hour, you could easily lose, 10, 15 minutes? Just gone. Wasted in reorienting your brain.
To get back on track.
Exactly. And it's not just a time delay. It's about cognitive load.
Yeah.
When you switch, your brain has to do 2 big things. First, it has to kind of save and put away the rules and context of the task you were doing. And second, it has to pull out and load up the rules and context for the new task. That whole retrieval process, it puts a real strain on your working memory.
So if you're constantly switching, your brain never actually settles down into that deep work state. It's always stuck in that loading phase.
Precisely. You're burning all your mental energy just switching contexts, leaving very little left over for high-quality thinking or creative work. The solution they offer is, well, almost painfully simple.
Do one thing at a time.
Do one thing, finish it, then move to the next. It might feel slower, almost unnatural at first, especially if you're used to juggling.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the payoff, according to the sources, is huge. 2 main things. First, the quality of your work goes way up. Second, that constant background hum of stress from switching contexts just fades. Better results, less mental strain.
Okay, so we've got our top 3 tasks planned. We know we need to tackle them one by one. No multitasking. So the next logical question is, for how long? Should I just grit my teeth and try to focus for 3 hours straight? Tip 3 says maybe not.
Right. This one's about working with your brain's natural rhythms, not against them. The research is pretty clear. Our brains aren't really built for hours and hours of unbroken deep focus.
Our concentration just naturally dips after a while.
Yeah, typically after about 25 to maybe 40 minutes for most people, it's linked to something called the ultradian rhythm, these natural cycles of rest and activity our bodies go through.
So that moment when you find yourself just staring blankly at the screen or suddenly feel an overwhelming urge to go check Twitter,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a lack of willpower.
Often it's just your brain signaling, hey, I need a quick reboot here. Fighting that can be counterproductive.
Okay.
So the technique highlighted is using focused work sessions. The Pomodoro technique is the most famous example, and it gives a good structure.
Right, the timer thing.
Yeah. The basic idea is work with intense focus for a set period, say 25 minutes. Then, and this is crucial, take a short break, just 5 minutes.
And that predictability helps, right?
Yeah.
Knowing a break is coming soon.
Definitely. It reduces that anxiety of feeling trapped in endless work. And then the sources suggest scaling it up after you complete maybe 4 of those 25-minute work blocks.
4 Pomodoros, as they call them.
Right. Then you take a longer break. maybe 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Enough time to really disconnect and recharge before the next round.
So what's happening in the brain during those short breaks? Why are they so important?
It's neurochemistry, essentially. Those little breaks aren't just downtime, they're recovery periods. They allow key neurotransmitters, think dopamine or epinephrine, the chemicals vital for alertness and attention, to replenish in your prefrontal cortex.
Ah, so you're optimizing your brain chemistry for the next sprint.
You got it. These structured rests keep your brain sharp, allowing you to sustain effort much longer overall. Some sources even suggested this method could potentially, double your effective productivity,
Wow.
simply because you're aligning with how your brain naturally functions, instead of trying to force it into these unnatural marathon sessions. It's about smart scheduling, not just brute force endurance.
All right, we've laid down the structure, planning, single tasking, focused sessions. Now, part 2 is about the foundation, the physical stuff.
Yeah, if the first part was the map and the driving schedule, this is about making sure the car is actually fueled up and running smoothly.
Exactly. We need to maintain the vehicle. And we're starting with the absolute king, the non-negotiable element, sleep. Tip 4.
This one is fundamental. Honestly, if you mess this one up, all the other tips become way, way harder.
It's the base of the pyramid.
Totally. The sources hammer this home. No amount of fancy productivity apps, motivational posters, or, crucially, caffeine
Not caffeine.
can truly replace proper restorative sleep. It's the prerequisite for any kind of sustained attention.
We all kind of know this, but maybe we underestimate just how bad sleep deprivation is for focus. What's actually happening upstairs when we don't get those 7 or 8 hours?
A lot, actually. Lack of sleep directly hits your executive functions. That's the brain's control center, planning, decision-making, resisting impulses.
All the stuff you need for focus.
Right. When you're tired, your mind wanders more easily, your reaction times slow way down, and your emotional regulation goes out the window. Simple tasks suddenly feel overwhelming, little frustrations feel huge.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Plus, lack of sleep can increase activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, making you more stressed, more anxious, less able to think clearly.
So you're not just groggy, you're actually cognitively impaired and more emotionally reactive. Yikes.
Pretty much. And the goal highlighted isn't just getting sleep, it's consistent sleep.
Ah, the consistency part.
Yes. Aiming for that 7 to 8 hour window, but really trying to keep a regular bedtime and wake up time, even on weekends, as much as possible.
That's the tough one.
It is, but it's key for training your body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm. Think of it as the master controller for your energy levels. If you keep messing with it, your body's always playing catch up, always in a kind of low power mode.
I like the analogy you used earlier, the phone battery. You can't expect top performance if it's constantly hovering at 15%.
Exactly. Consistency helps your body recharge fully and naturally, so you start the day with a full charge, ready for those focused work sessions.
Okay, sleep's the foundation. Tip 5 builds right on that. It's about the fuel we put in the engine during the day. Energy management is focus management.
That's a great way to put it. Your ability to focus is directly tied to having stable, sustained energy. If you're dehydrated or running on sugary snacks and refined carbs, you're basically setting yourself up for those energy spikes and then the inevitable productivity-killing crashes.
Let's start with hydration. Seems like the easiest win. Why does just being a little bit dehydrated mess with our heads so much?
Well, your brain is mostly water. Even mild dehydration, we're talking like 1% fluid loss, can start to impair cognitive function.
Really? Just 1%?
Yeah. Dehydration reduces your overall blood volume. That means your heart has to work harder, and it reduces the efficiency of oxygen and nutrient delivery to your brain,
Resulting in
brain fog, difficulty concentrating, sometimes headaches. The quick fix: just drink water consistently through the day. And crucially, don't rely on coffee or sugary energy drinks to do the job of water.
Right. They might give you a temporary buzz, but they don't hydrate properly.
And can lead to crashes later. Beyond water, the sources also talk about the right kind of food fuel. We need stuff that gives slow, steady energy release.
Avoiding that roller coaster.
Exactly. Think of fruits, nuts, especially walnuts and almonds came up a lot, eggs, good quality fats. Even dark chocolate in moderation got a mention for stable energy and antioxidants.
Nice. I like that one.
The big warning sign, though, was about heavy meals during work hours. Greasy lunches, huge portions of pasta.
The dreaded food coma.
Right. That heavy meal forces your body to divert a ton of energy towards digestion, pulling it away from your brain just when you need it for thinking.
You get sluggish, sleepy.
Your parasympathetic nervous system takes over. So, like you said, treat your brain like a high-performance engine. Better fuel means smoother, longer-lasting performance. Put junk in the tank. Expect a sputtering ride. Okay, so we've covered internal maintenance, sleep, and fuel. Now let's switch to external control with tip 2. Actively getting rid of distractions in your environment.
The environment, yeah.
This tip basically acknowledges a hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
If a distraction is there, if you can see it or hear it, your brain will notice it. Even if you're trying super hard to ignore it.
It pulls at your attention subconsciously.
Exactly. The sources used a great analogy. Distractions are like mosquitoes.
Huh. I like that.
Yeah.
Small, super annoying, and they just force your brain off track.
And every time your brain gets knocked off track, like we discussed with multitasking, there's that switch cost. It breaks your flow, that state where the really good work happens.
So how do we swat these mosquitoes?
The key recommendation is something called the prep minute. Before you start a focused work session, take literally 60 seconds just to prep your space.
Okay, 1 minute. What do I do in that minute?
3 main things. First, silence your phone. Ideally, put it completely out of sight, another room, a drawer, just not on the desk.
Out of sight, out of mind. Hopefully.
Second, close all those unnecessary browser tabs. The ones, the article you open just in case, the shopping site.
There.
They're visual clutter, potential rabbit holes.
Guilty as charged.
Third, clear your actual physical desk. Get rid of papers, mugs, anything not directly related to the task at hand. Your environment should signal focus, not stuff I need to deal with later.
It's amazing how much a clear desk helps mentally.
It really does. It's a small investment, that 1 minute, but it stops you from constantly fighting those little urges, which drains your willpower.
And what if you absolutely need your phone or another device for the work itself?
Then create distance, physical distance. Don't have it right in your main line of sight or within easy arm's reach. Put it just slightly out of the way.
Make it require little effort to check it.
Exactly. The payoff for creating this quiet, clean bubble around yourself is huge. Your brain can finally stop scanning for threats and just focus.
Okay, we've cleared the space, but most of us still spend hours sitting. Tip 8 tackles this head on. Sitting all day, the sources say, is just terrible for your brain.
Yeah, this connects back to those short breaks we talked about with the Pomodoro technique, but emphasizes the movement aspect. It's not just about resting your eyes, it's about moving your body.
And this isn't just about avoiding back pain, right? It's directly linked to thinking better.
Absolutely. Short bursts of movement, getting up to stretch, walking around the room, maybe doing a few squats by your chair. These aren't wasted minutes, they're essential for keeping your mind sharp.
We hear it increases blood flow, but what's the deeper reason that helps us think clearer?
It's back to neurochemistry again. Yes, movement boosts blood flow, carrying more oxygen, but critically, it also triggers the release of key brain chemicals.
Like which ones?
Norepinephrine, dopamine, endorphins. Chemicals that regulate mood, boost motivation, and sharpen attention. A quick walk can literally be a chemical reset for a sluggish brain.
So it pulls you out of that mental fog.
Exactly. And it reframes how we should think about breaks. Taking 5 minutes to walk around isn't being lazy or slacking off.
It's actually a smart strategy.
It's a scientifically grounded way to sustain your focus longer. So during those 5-minute breaks between focus sessions, get up, move around. Don't just switch to checking email.
Right. Use the break to physically reset.
Think of your brain like a muscle. You wouldn't try to lift the heaviest weight possible for hours straight without a rest, right?
No, you'd injure yourself.
Same idea. Constant mental strain leads to fatigue, burnout, lower quality work. Short, active breaks keep that cognitive muscle flexible, strong, and ready for the next challenge. It's an investment in your future focus.
Okay, final section. We've set up the structure. We've fueled the engine. Now, part 3 is about training the actual muscle of attention itself. Mindset, managing tech, reinforcing the wins.
Yeah, this is about honing the internal skills, building that mental resilience against distraction.
We start with tip 6, mindfulness. This word gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
How did the sources define it in this context?
They made a real effort to keep it simple and practical. Not necessarily about hour-long meditation sessions or achieving enlightenment.
Okay, good.
It was defined simply as being aware, noticing the present moment, what's happening right now, without judging it. That's it. Makes it much more accessible.
So it's like that prep minute for your external environment, but this is for your internal environment. Clearing the mental clutter.
That's a perfect way to think about it. It functions as a mental reset button. When our minds wander, where do they usually go?
Worrying about the future, replaying the past.
Exactly. Internal noise. Mindfulness anchors you back to the present. The simple exercise they suggested was just stopping periodically to take 5 slow, deep breaths.
5 breaths. Very doable.
You could do it right before starting a big task, or even just when switching between meetings.
Okay, but how does focusing on breathing actually stop my mind from jumping to my worries or my to-do list? What's the mechanism?
By deliberately focusing your attention on the physical sensation of breathing the air, moving in and out, your chest rising and falling, you're actively directing your awareness away from those distracting internal thoughts.
You're choosing where to put your focus.
Precisely. It's an act of gentle redirection. It also trains what psychologists call metacognition, the ability to notice that you're thinking, to observe your thoughts without getting swept away by them.
So you get better at catching yourself when your mind drifts.
Yes. And the more you practice this simple act of anchoring to the present, even just for 5 breaths, the less power those internal distractions naturally have over you.
All right, now for maybe the toughest battle. Tip 9, setting boundaries with technology. The sources didn't pull any punches here, did they?
No, they really didn't. There was a strong reality check. Our phones, our apps, the websites we visit, they are designed by incredibly smart people, specifically to capture and hold our attention.
It's their business model. Clicks, engagement, eyeballs.
Exactly. Variable rewards, notifications designed to create urgency, infinite scroll to keep you hooked. They are engineered to bypass your self-control.
So just relying on willpower, that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
It's an unfair fight. So we need to change the rules of engagement ourselves. What kind of specific practical boundaries did the research suggest?
Setting firm, personal rules is key. Rules you decide on when you're calm and rational to protect yourself when you're tired or tempted.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, a popular one was no phone for the first hour after waking up.
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I see the value. Protect that initial focus.
Right. Stop other people's agendas from hijacking your day immediately. Another could be no social media or news sites open at all while you're at your primary workstation. Create dedicated times or devices for that stuff.
Define the work zone. Define the work zone. Define the work time. And use the tools available. There are apps, browser extensions specifically designed to block distracting sites or apps for set periods. Use them. They act like a digital bouncer for your attention.
Okay, so it's about creating friction for the bad habits.
Yes. And underlying all this is a really profound reevaluation the sources pushed for. Your attention is your single most valuable finite resource.
More valuable than time, maybe.
Arguably, yes, because how you spend your attention determines how you spend your time and the quality of that time. Yet we give this incredibly precious resource away constantly, almost unconsciously, to algorithms designed to profit from it.
We give it away for free.
Exactly. The core message is you must actively protect your attention. If you value your work, your thinking, your peace of mind, stop treating your focus like it's an unlimited free commodity for any app that sends a notification.
Okay, we've talked about training focus like a skill. And how do we effectively train any behavior, whether it's teaching a dog or strengthening a habit in ourselves? Reinforcement. That leads us to the final tip, tip 10. Using rewards.
This was a really interesting angle. It shifts the focus away from just pure discipline or willpower. The sources suggest that motivation isn't just about gritting your teeth through hard stuff. A huge part of it comes from reward.
Makes sense. If focusing always feels like pulling teeth, your brain's naturally going to avoid it.
Precisely. If the only association you build with deep work is strain, exhaustion, maybe frustration, you'll develop an aversion. So we need to consciously create a positive feedback loop.
Hack the system. Link focus with pleasure. How does that look in practice? What kind of rewards are we talking about?
It's about closing the loop with a little hit of dopamine right after the desired behavior. So when you successfully complete a task or even just finish one of those 25-minute focused work sessions,
Celebrate the small win.
yes, immediately give yourself a small, specific, enjoyable reward. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's getting up, stretching, and putting on your favorite song.
Or having that piece of dark chocolate we mentioned earlier.
Or just 5 minutes of guilt-free relaxation, looking out the window, not checking your phone. The key is the immediacy and the clear link. I did the focused work, now I get the pleasant thing.
So you're training your brain, hey, doing that focused thing leads to feeling good.
Exactly right. You're leveraging your brain's own reward circuitry, dopamine, the feel-good, do-it-again chemical, to make the next session of focus feel a little easier, a little more appealing. It builds momentum.
I like that. It's not about punishment or guilt if you slip up. It's about rewarding the successes.
And that was a final crucial point in the sources. Be kind to yourself in this process. Acknowledge when you do manage to focus. That positive reinforcement strengthens the focus muscle far more effectively than beating yourself up ever will. Hashtag tag outro.
All right, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, pulling out 10 really practical keys for getting a grip on focus and productivity. Let's do a super quick recap.
Okay.
Plan your top 3 tasks first thing. Get rid of distractions, physical and digital. Work in short, focused bursts like the Pomodoro method. Prioritize consistent sleep, 7 to 8 hours.
Fuel your brain with water and smart food. Practice mindfulness, even just 5 breaths, as a reset. Stop multitasking seriously, just stop.
Move your body during breaks. Set really firm boundaries with your tech. And finally, reward yourself for successful focus sessions.
You know, what really stands out when you lay it all out like that is the simplicity. We kept coming back to that.
Yeah, no incredibly complex system required.
No. The sources consistently emphasize that it's not about finding some magic, complicated hack. It's about consistency with these simple fundamentals. Consistency beats complexity every time.
Focus really is a daily habit, isn't it? It gets stronger every time you make that conscious choice, stay present, ignore that ping, finish that 25-minute block.
Each small act is like a rep, strengthening the muscle.
And the promise from the research is that if you consistently apply even just a few of these, you'll see results. Stronger attention, work feeling less like a struggle, and just, well, calmer, more effective days.
Because you're operating from a place of intention, not reaction.
So, we want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to chew on as you go about your day. Look back at these 10 keys: planning, sleep, movement, tech boundaries, single tasking, all of them. Which one do you feel is tripping you up the most right now?
Which one is costing you the most focus or productivity?
If you could fix just one of these simple things, which one would likely have the biggest positive ripple effect for you?
That's the one to focus on first.
Identify it. Make it your target. Start training that focus skill today. Just that one thing.
Absolutely. Pick your starting point and build from there.
Go train that focus muscle. Until next time.